Sweet.
Just had a rant with Jeremy. It's over now.
I wasn't going to say that. You came in and I had an ear out to the record, so I heard this sort of shouting thing, and then I was just, love is like...
I'm better now, though.
No one ever plays that record except Ken Bruce.
And you.
I love it. James Hardy in Manchester says, in our syndicate, we had an agreement in the contract that if they missed 2 weeks' payment, they would not get the winnings. If they had a clause saying if you miss a week, you do not get the money, in this one in Kirkby, she shouldn't get the money. If there's no clause, she should get the money. Do you have a view on this? You can have a view on this, I think.
Am I allowed to have
I think you can have a view on whether the woman in Kirkby should get a share of the syndicate's winnings.
Well, I don't know about this particular case, because as you were discussing earlier with Nina, there's all sorts of stuff we probably don't know. But I think as a general rule, if you don't pay in, then you can't get the payout.
Maggie Daniel in East Preston in West Sussex says, I ran a syndicate, and if we knew someone was ill, we would put their £2 in. Jim Main is in Newquay. This is simple. How many lines of tickets did they buy? If it was 10, she doesn't get a share. If they bought 11, as usual, then she gets a share. I notice a split between men and women on this story.
Oh, yes.
Always dangerous to say this, but in the comments, it's men who are saying, if you don't pay, you don't get a share. And it's possibly our women who are calling who are a little bit more amenable.
Really?
Possibly.
Well, I bucked that trend.
Actually, you did. I have to give that some thought.
Should we go into a syndicate, you and me? What do you think?
No, too many arguments.
Northern Ireland starting there. The A4 in Northern Ireland is blocked through Enniskillen as they recover an accident. M18, there's a breakdown northbound between junctions 1 and 2, so north of the M1. It's not really, I have to say, causing much of a delay, according to Womble, but it's good to know it's there and to watch out for it. The London Road in Derby is closed. They've got emergency repairs to a water main just up by the railway bridge. They shut it today. It's one of the major routes through Derby as well. The A13 is closed in East London, westbound, so that's London bound, around Barking, just up by the North Circular Road. There's a spillage there, I think, which happened after an accident, so the queues are back towards Dagenham. North of Tavistock, the A386 is shut at a place called Mary Tavy, both ways, following an accident there. And there's a lane blocked on the M5 southbound, 28 to 29 around Cullompton. There's a breakdown on that southbound side. Watch out for that. And finally, there's a replacement bus service operating on Arriva Trains Wales between McClymouth and Shrewsbury because of a problem at a level crossing. That's it. More with Steve in about an hour.
Discovering something new and sharing it with others has become the cultural norm. But some of us have been practicing the art for a long time.
I'd like to say a big thank you to Radio 2 for the help they've given me. And I really hope you manage to continue this award because I think it's a great investment in young people.
However long you've been doing it, you never lose the thrill, which is one of the exciting things about hosting the Young Folk Award. Though it's not the only thing.
I'd just like to thank, first of all, my school for letting me have 2 days off.
As well as this year's winner getting the chance to perform at top UK festivals, including Cambridge, 10 acts will also be invited to a weekend workshop with award-winning musicians.
The British folk scene keeps going from strength to strength.
The Young Folk Award. Find out more at the BBC Radio 2 website.
Right, now when investigators uncovered terrible cases of incompetence and neglect at Stafford Hospital, there was widespread shock that patients could receive such appalling treatment in the NHS. Patients were so thirsty they had to drink water from vases, and receptionists were left to decide which patients to treat in A&E. Nurses were not trained properly to use vital equipment, while inexperienced doctors were put in charge of critically ill patients. All in all, it was a complete nightmare, and worse. And today, we've had a government report out which has commented on 14 other NHS trusts. Now, they have been investigated by Sir Bruce Keogh, the medical director of the NHS, after figures showed that these other 14 trusts had worryingly high death rates. Between them, it's thought that poor care and medical errors and management blunders led to 13,000 needless deaths since 2005. It's a very big number. We've had the Health Secretary in the House of Commons talking about it, Jeremy Hunt talking about it, and he's still going. And we're going to find out now live from Westminster what we know so far, whether this is on the scale of Stafford. So Vicky Young, BBC political correspondent, joins us from Millbank. Good afternoon, Vicky.
Good afternoon.
So just before we get into individual hospitals, which I know listeners will be fascinated with, Can you just give us a sense of the big picture and whether we are dealing with a Stafford scale situation here?
Well, I think broadly it's fair to say that none of these hospitals are yet at the stage of Stafford. I think that's the broad picture. Having said that, 11 of the 14 of these trusts have been placed in what's called special measures, so pretty significant. Just to say quickly, the ones that haven't been are Colchester, the Dudley Group and Blackpool Teaching Hospitals. The rest of them, though, in special measures. That means teams of experts will be sent in from the regulators to make sure they make the changes very quickly. That may include recruiting more staff, improving out-of-hours services, better infection control, overhauling the care for terminally ill patients. And the entire boards of NHS bosses, they could ultimately face the sack if they fail to carry out the reforms. So 11 of those put into special measures. That's the action that's been taken today.
Okay, and specifically on individual hospitals, let me just whip through them one at a time. Thameside Hospital NHS Foundation Trust.
Yeah, they're saying that patients there were left on unmonitored trolleys.
North Cumbria University Hospitals NHS Trust.
That was evidence of poor maintenance in 2 operating theatres and both closed immediately.
Burton Hospitals.
And that's staff working 12 days in a row with no break, which obviously would have an impact on patient care there.
So, and then North Lincolnshire and Goole Hospitals were also mentioned.
Yeah, this is relating to the out-of-hours stroke care at the Diana Princess of Wales Hospital, so they felt they had problems there.
United Lincolnshire Hospitals NHS Trust.
This looks a pretty serious one here. The concern about the do not resuscitate policy and 12 never events. Now, just to explain to people that, as you would suggest from the word never events, serious, largely preventable patient safety incidents that really should never ever happen, and they had 12 there.
But other stuff looks a bit more minor. Sherwood Forest Hospitals, for example.
Yeah, patient buzzers unanswered, and then other ones talking about inadequate staff levels. But then Basildon and Thurrock actually saying here that they also had 7 never events in 3 years, so slightly more serious, well-known problems with that hospital there in Basildon.
George Eliot Hospital, which is in, hang on, someone told me earlier which part, it's Nuneaton, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, and they're talking about bed sores, general issues with patient care.
Medway NHS Foundation Trust.
And they're talking about inappropriate referrals and poor communication.
Buckinghamshire Healthcare is the last one on our list.
Shortcomings in nursing and in relation particularly to medication and patients with dementia.
Because when this story broke, Vicky, we were told this 13,000 figure since 2005 sounds so shocking, but broken down for us as you've just done it, you can see that there are, individual worries, but it doesn't look as if there's a Stafford in there.
No, and what's interesting about this is that Sir Bruce Keogh himself has talked about that use of mortality rates. I mean, it's quite a difficult thing to calculate. What they try and do is compare figures to other units of a similar size and a local population age profile. But it's not always proof that something has gone wrong. And Sir Bruce Keogh himself has said that he didn't want to use that figure. That figure came out over the weekend. And today we've had Andy Burnham, the Labour spokesman, on all of this, saying actually this has been a case of spin from the government and they really shouldn't have used that figure because it alarms patients. But nevertheless, there is clearly a problem in these hospitals. None of them had high quality care. They've been put into special measures. They will have to change pretty quickly.
Thank you very much indeed. Vicky Young, BBC political correspondent. Let's talk to Jan Hansen, who is the chocolatier from Falkingham in Lincolnshire. And you are a member of the Lincolnshire branch of the campaign group Cure the NHS. Jan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
And you realised there were problems with the NHS when your mum was admitted to a different part of the country, Bedford Hospital.
Yes, that's right. I would like to thank you straight away because I heard the first news of Mid Staffordshire broke while I was listening to a programme. I was in my workshop, and when I heard the news of what had happened in Mid Staffordshire, I thought, oh, thank God, they're going to save my mother, because I realised this is going